Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. This is a video I thought about making for a long time, but I haven't out of fear of how my audience will take this, as I feel some of you will just instantly stop listening to me or roll your eyes. But I also feel that there are people out there that consider me to be an intelligent person, so I'm gonna tell you the story. And with the recent momentum really picking up about the UAP issue in the United States, and what are these three things that were shot down? Why don't we have pictures of them? Why is everybody being quiet? Why is Congress being very weird and very cryptic about what they're talking about?
Last 2 weeks, and that's not accurate. This has been going on a long time.
Do they give an explanation as to why they're shooting them down now? Why they're deciding?
They did not.
What's your assessment? Do you feel like there's a threat? Learning what you've just learned, do you feel like the threat level is low or not, or high?
The only thing I feel confident saying right now is that if you are confused, you understand the situation perfectly. We know some of the objects. Others we think we probably missed, and we don't know what most of them are.
Did you learn anything significant beyond what's been reported in the news, do you feel?
Yeah, I learned a little bit. I can't talk about all of it, but what I took away from the briefing today, more than the briefing last week, is that this has been going on for a long time.
How long?
At least 2017, and last week we were told 2019. That's what I took away from it today.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Lock your doors tonight.
Should be given more information. They're ready for it. They can handle it. And they need and deserve to know it. Whether it's the president personally, he can't go on national TV every evening, but the Congress has an obligation as well to inform the American people.
So I asked you to just stick with me and watch me here. But first I have to tell you that in Sweden, about 7 or 8 years ago, I was walking. And first of all, I've always been a skeptic. I didn't believe in UFOs or UAPs. I believe there's such great distances in space that it's not possible, given our physics, that we could even get to somewhere else in time. But I'm walking in Linköping, Sweden, and I am walking, and I'm kind of walking towards the direction where the military base is. I'm farther away, but there's a military base here in Sweden. And I look up to the sky, and I see this sphere in the sky, this metallic sphere, just sitting stationary. Did not look like a balloon. It was not moving. It was not moving with the wind or anything else. It was completely still. What made this object interesting as well was it looked like it was made out of a material I couldn't describe, almost like it looked like a liquid, but at the same time it looked metallic. It was very, very reflective, and it wasn't maybe about the size of a small car, I would say. It was not very large. And I looked at this object for a good 10, 15 minutes, just in awe, trying to make sense of what it was. Well, later I left the situation. Back then I didn't have a camera phone, because I think it would have been like 2013 or 2014. I don't know if I had a smartphone yet at the time, or I definitely didn't have my phone with me. Anyways, I go live my life. I don't think anything about it. And then over the course of time, 2019, the story comes out about UAPs in the U.S.
Well, another week, another major news story related to UFOs. The New York Times is reporting about the contents of a soon-to-be-released Pentagon investigation into the UFO mystery.
Dude, that is a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing! It's rotating.
And then finally, the U.S. comes out in 2020 and does say there are things in our sky that we cannot explain, that they're being investigated. And it's gotten to the point where Lou Elizondo, who actually used to work for ATIP in the United States, where they would research a lot of these things in the sky, came out, talked about it. At first, the government said he wasn't real, and then eventually Harry Reid, who was a senator in the U.S., and many others came out to eventually agree, and then finally the government has acknowledged that, yes, he did work for ATIP.
Some cases from 25 miles away.
And what they're reporting to us are really extraordinary vehicles doing extraordinary things. And furthermore, it's backed up by electro-optical data, such as gun camera footage, and further backed up by radar. So in essence, you have three distinct pieces, or if you will, collection sources that are all providing the same information at the same time, at the same place, under the same circumstances, and all really validating what the pilots are seeing.
So there have been leaks happening while there's news and story happening. But where my story gets interesting is there was a recent leak of a UFO or a UAP over Iraq that was from, I believe, 2012, right around that time. And what makes this very notable is this is the first time that a UAP was reported over a active military zone. And when I saw the photo,
still absolutely no disclosure on any of that. So my friend Jeremy Corbell, he's been releasing a new podcast, Weaponized Podcast. Let's put this up there on the screen. You can make fun of it if you want to, but this is a brand new photo. It's actually been taken from the U.S. government archives. They call this crystal the Mosul Orb. So this was a U.S. military-filmed UFO from, presumably from a drone, and has been officially designated in government files as a unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
So are we looking
at no idea
this,
what
like,
it is.
Round patch?
Yeah, that round thing is actually seen for, so the video itself is 4 seconds long. It was seen on the camera for only a single second. That's what you get there. And let's be clear, in the files itself, for all of the balloon people, this stuff has been ruled out. This has been, in terms of the analysis, nobody knows what the hell it is. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It almost seems too good to be true. But again, I mean, nobody in the government is disputing this. It doesn't even look like anything in particular. It literally appeared on camera like a flash. So it's just stunning stuff. And
my mind was boggled. It was the exact same thing I saw over Sweden without a shadow of a doubt. I had never seen anything like what I've seen before. And when I saw it, my jaw dropped. Absolutely. And I just wanted to tell you guys that because, I was a skeptic until I saw it. Now, finally, I just want to say this. I don't claim to know what UAPs are, but I want to talk to you guys about this, especially if some people have an open mind on this topic, because I think it's an important issue and I think it's starting to get momentum. The reports are that there is investigations with UAPs in the United States, but there isn't a lot of transparency. Back in the day, a lot of the UAP information and issues was from the United States Air Force, which they have still been very, very quiet on this issue. And recently, just over the last year or so, there was a public Congress hearing about UAPs, which was the first time that had happened since the 1950s. And there has been an interesting situation happening where congressmen are saying that they are not getting the full story. They are not getting all the information. And there's kind of a war going on right now between the DOD, or the Department of Justice, and there's a little bit of gatekeeping about the information. And there's frustration by that. And then you have the recent shootings over the United States of these objects or balloons. But before I sound crazy, because I'm sure some of you think I'm crazy at this point, but there have been some congressmen that have spoken about this issue, and when I hear them speak, unless they're just making it up to make it a political issue, it doesn't sound to me like they're talking about Russia or China. And then we get to the recent reports in the United States, and what I have been told, and this is time and time again, I've heard from people that in the U.S., the way our radar systems work, and a lot of countries' militaries, is they are designed to filter out things that seem impossible. So they're looking for airplanes. They're looking for jets. They're looking for things that move within physics that we understand, and that we purposely filter out anything that could be UAP related in a sense. So when they had this Chinese balloon over the United States and they tweaked the radar, suddenly they saw tons of objects in the sky moving in ways we can't explain, propulsion systems we can't explain that have been happening for a while. And then we get the report that 3 were shot down. Now, to me, it's interesting the way Congress is speaking about this. There's been a lot of congressmen speaking. And again, it sounds like they want the American people to have a little bit more information. It is my belief that we are currently, although many people are saying, hey, 2023 can't get any crazier, I think we are moving towards some type of disclosure over the next 5 years. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means that there's aliens. I don't know if that means that we have this technology that we developed. I don't know if it's future humans coming back to try to stop us from starting a nuclear war because you got the whole Ukraine thing or many others. But I do know when you look into this topic, that's why I say I have no answers. But I talked to you about this because I really believe that something is happening right now. And it's interesting to me how many people don't care about this. Like, they just don't care. Or they're so concerned about their own lives. And I really feel this is a time where we need to push on this topic a little bit more. We need to push on events that happen, try to get a little bit more information, because maybe we deserve to know. If there is something out there and we're not alone, or something else exists on this planet, that's another thing I think of. What if something can just exist in our ocean, intelligent life? Maybe we're not alone on this planet. But there are things in our skies that we can't explain, which, if you start to look through history, were also in the sky in the 1940s. A lot of these sightings really started to ramp up once we were developing nuclear weapons, and there's a huge amount of information in regards to that. There's a famous case called the Malmstrom incident.
It's also been reported that there have been UAP observed and interacting with and flying over sensitive military facilities, particularly, and not just ranges, but some facilities housing our strategic nuclear forces. One such incident allegedly occurred at Malmstrom Air Force Base, in which 10 of our nuclear ICBMs were rendered inoperable. At the same time, a glowing red orb was observed overhead. I'm not commenting on the accuracy of this. I'm simply asking you whether you're aware of it and whether you have any comment on the accuracy of that report.
Let me pass that to Mr. Bray. You've been looking at UAPs over the last 3 years.
That data is not within the holdings of the UAP task force.
Okay, but are you aware of the report, or that the data exists somewhere?
I have heard stories. I have not seen the official data on that.
So you've just seen informal stories, no official assessment that you've done or exists within DoD that you're aware of regarding the Malmstrom incident?
All I can speak to is what's within my cognizance of the UAP task force, and we have not looked at that incident.
Well, I would say, it's a pretty high-profile incident. I don't claim to be an expert on this, but that's out there in the ether. You're the guys investigating it. Who else is doing it?
If something was officially brought to our attention, we would look at it. There are many things that are out there in the ether that aren't officially brought to our attention.
So how would it have to be officially brought to your attention? I'm bringing it to your attention.
Sure,
that is hopefully going to be officially investigated in the United States. It was brought up in a recent Congress report where nuclear weapons were made inoperable by an object in the sky that flew over them. We know that these objects are going over military bases, over a lot of sensitive sites. And again, no real information about it. So I come to you now to just mention that I've seen something and at least open your eyes, if anybody was skeptical, to at least look at the information coming out about things in the sky that we can't understand, to push more evidence towards that, because I believe if there are things in the sky that we don't understand and has been a secret for a while, that we should have the best scientists in the world taking a look at it, and we shouldn't gatekeep this type of information. But again, who knows? We don't know the truth. But I wanted to come on here and talk about it. So I'm sure some people are going to, I guess, discredit me or say that they lost respect for me. But you know what? I think it's better to talk about this topic than to be afraid to talk about it due to the stigma. There was a concentrated effort in the 1950s with Project Blue Book to sweep this under the rug. Because think about it, after World War II, do you really want to tell your population that there's things in the sky that you can't defend, you can't control, you don't understand? I don't think that's something you want to tell the public to keep them in check. So just my thoughts on the issue and the situation. I just hope to shed more light on it, that yes, there's regular people, they have seen things in the sky. I have seen things in the sky and then later actually saw the thing that I saw. I didn't tell anybody, I didn't mention this to anybody. I didn't even see people talk about seeing a metallic sphere in the sky, right? This is not something I heard. I thought UFOs were just a straight up disc, but I saw this thing in the sky, I remembered it. So yeah, I'm definitely convinced that something is going on, and I don't know what. I don't know what it is, but I wish more people would care about this topic. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.